There we go. Created out of whole cloth from the very famous Eli Manning undercover trying out for Penn State video that went viral. And so we put it in your hands, Michael, and you come up with the backstory. Is that how we worked it here with our friend over here?
This was a team effort. I can't. You got to take half the credit or half the blame for this one.
I'm told it's credit, sir.
Yeah, I mean, this was such a crazy idea to try and build a show out of, and I think it was initially I was like, all right, well, could you actually do a show? Could you do a Mrs. Doubtfire thing in a show?
Yes.
And that's what I said to Glenn. I was like, I don't know how that could work. And Glenn was like, but what if you did try that? What if you did try to make it work? And I was like, oh, that's there it is.
Based off of just this one video that we saw from Eli a couple of years ago. And how did this wind up on your plate?
Well, you know what's really, really funny is we heard that Omaha was, wanting to do something with Chad Powers. And what's really funny in Hollywood, it's like for the two of us, like he's a big Georgia guy, I'm a Texas guy.
Right.
And we connected over college football when we first sat down. And there's very few people in Hollywood that are actually sports fans. And so when these rights came up, like it didn't feel like everybody was as nearly as excited as we were. And we were like, okay, let's figure this out. So we put our heads together on it. And it just is one of those things. This show just combines all the things we love. Because like when you go, I mean, I just went to the Texas game on Saturday. I was back there, and what you just realize is that bringing people into the world of college football, there's nothing like it. The passion around it, and even just I've been to Sanford Field. You've been to DKR, and it's like sharing that is a really special experience. And this show just really, I think, just really taps into that kind of passion. But the stakes around it, the fun part about it is that we have a show in which we use that sort of device that Eli had, which is like you knew that Eli Manning was under that mask on the Penn State tryout. So we get to take that sort of same device and have kind of that crazy pressure cooker of a team that's vying for a national title. But meanwhile, their quarterback is not who he says he is.
It's Chad Powers here. Glen Powell and Michael Waldron, the co-creators and executive producers of the highly anticipated show based off the Eli Manning video from years ago. It premieres today with 2 episodes on Hulu. New episodes released weekly on Tuesdays. Our ESPN radio audience has just rejoined us, and it is really awesome to see this thing come to life right here. And so it was out there amongst the world that Omaha was looking to do this, that Eli was looking to do this, and did you pitch the Mannings? Or did they pitch you? How does this work?
We were the ones insane enough to say let's chase it. Glenn and I we've been buddies and had wanted to do something together, and like Glenn said, we bonded over our love of college football. Glenn is a Texas fan. I went to UGA. And we thought that maybe this is a great opportunity to do sort of the modern story set in the world of college football.
But what I think was really funny with Eli in particular is like, I mean, our pitch was like a no-brainer. I think we blew it out of the water. But what was really, really funny is, Eli is the best. Am I allowed to say talker on here?
Go for it.
Okay, cool, great. He's the best talker out there. The Manning brothers are.
This interview just got way better.
Yeah. Kind of picked, and that's kind of sneaky about Eli. Is that he is exactly what you're saying, but he comes across, when he's selling sandwiches.
He's such a ball buster.
I'll tell you an Eli story.
Please.
Right as we started developing this with those guys, it's like, it's cool to be on an email chain with Eli Manning. I'm riding high off of that alone. And so every Thanksgiving, my family has a Thanksgiving football game. And one Thanksgiving, I was playing quarterback, and I had a pretty impressive touchdown pass, I thought, that was caught on video. And so I sent it to our Chad Powers email chain. And about a week later, I got an email back from Eli where he had broken it down and just eviscerated me with like graphics.
Oh my goodness!
From the Manning cast, I mean, really pulver about my form and my mechanics and everything, which are not good. And that really sums up the Eli experience.
How'd you take it?
It was wonderful. It was I showed it to everyone I knew instantly. Yeah, it's great.
And what was your contact with Eli?
I mean, the funny part about it is as we started, as we were pitching, it's like one of the funny parts is Eli just goes, "Hey, I'm worried about your form," and I was like, "Okay, like why?" I was like, I played high school football, but I'm not, And he goes, "I saw Top Gun Maverick," and I was like, "Okay, a beach football sequence is not indicative of." I said, first off, those balls.
Yes.
We're covered in coconut oil. Everyone was greased up. Everybody knows that dogfight football doesn't exist.
Yes.
And it's not about the form, it's about the flexing. And I said, once you get me on the field, there will be no coconut oil in sight. This is about a different thing.
You're going to have your shirt on the whole thing.
I mean,
well, the shirt's off. I don't want to deceive people into thinking that Glenn's shirt is on the whole time in the show. I'd like people to watch.
I didn't mean to denigrate the product in advance, but
shirt is off.
Eli did, connect us with, like the greatest coaches, in the game. I was with Nick Shimanek, who's Patrick Mahomes' coach, and so we really, had Pat O'Hara, who's the former offensive coordinator for the Titans, on me just to make sure. And the funny part is every practice I went to, there was obviously, footage of it. And I didn't realize that all the footage was going straight to Peyton and Eli. So I would get texts from them about, hey, try to look in your fingers right before the snap, or hey, make sure I didn't see that your eyes were on the safety here. That's where you should be reading right now. So I was literally like, oh, wow, we got to be. So everything that you see in the show, the thing I'm really proud of in the show is that it is funny as hell. I mean, it is, and I've showed it to people across the board. People love the show. But the thing I'm really proud of is people that really know football.
So the Mannings were less interested in the plot and the content and more interested in you looking like a quarterback? Like, where do we parcel this out percentage-wise?
It is one of the things I worried about the most when creating the show. Is because look, but think about it. It's like we're all football fans. You watch top-tier quarterbacks play every week, right? And you know what that looks like.
Yes.
And look, I'm an actor, right? Like, I'm not pretending to be, a top-tier athlete, but that magic trick has to exist regardless. You have to believe this guy is one of the best, in the world. And so, I definitely lowered my head to try to make sure audiences weren't like, oh my God, because we've all seen that go wrong.
And it's you out there, and you did the work, and it's Glenn out there in the helmet, and making those throws, and they cared. They cared as much about the mechanics as they did about the plot.
Yeah, it was fun. It's actually Eli came to the writers' room just to make sure everything, even around the football, not even the stuff on the field, was legit. How it all formed. But when you're talking about, Peyton and Eli obviously have experienced what it is to be in a big game environment in college. So all the life around it really was thought about just to make sure that we're insulating the show with authenticity.
So Eli Manning comes to the writers' room of Chad Powers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where does this rank for you in terms of pressure that you've been with this show, Loki, Heels? Our Mike O'Malley has been on this program. He brought James Harrison with him, by the way.
Yeah.
Which definitely, that might bring some pressure when you're handing a script to James Harrison. He doesn't like a line
you want
or
to make
something.
sure you're writing good stuff for him.
Understood. When Harrison might give you a little look.
Yeah.
But where does Eli Manning strolling into a writer's room rank for you, Michael Waldron?
Eli is really tall. I think that Eli is huge. Mm-hmm. Intimate. I guess
I wasn't talking about you being physically hurt.
Oh, I was worried that you were physically hurt.
That one I wasn't concerned about. I've never seen Eli lower his shoulder on anybody.
You should see him in his second life as a creative.
But you got to get this right, though.
No, he was honestly he was so amazingly helpful and just fielding questions from our writers' room because the show. Audiences can watch great football Saturdays, Sundays, and part of the fun of the show is filling in what are these coaches, these players doing between the games, because Glenn's character is trying to keep up this disguise, not just on the field, but in every moment, before and after the game. So Eli, he helped fill in the life of a college quarterback. It was great.
Glen Powell, Michael Waldron here to talk about Chad Powers, which premieres today. 2 episodes on Hulu. There's 6 episodes. The rest will drop every single Tuesday. And in terms of promoting this, appreciate you being here, Glenn. You did College Game Day for Texas versus the Ohio State at the Horseshoe.
Absolutely.
And you're a Texas guy, correct?
I'm a big Texas fan.
I know your dad, who's here, is an the Ohio State Buckeye guy. I don't mean to disrespect.
You guys almost threw some fists in the dressing room out there.
Right. What was that like? Were you welcomed by the folks in Columbus, Ohio?
The craziest part is this is my fault. I really, for some reason, I've always wanted to see a game at the Shoe. Growing up, like my dad, the only time my dad's the most calm guy in the entire world. The only time I've ever seen him lose his temper is over Ohio State football.
Well, then the last 4
Charles
Novembers
Woodson
have been difficult.
running it back. I remember that one. He was like, it's the only time I've ever seen my dad lose his cool. And going to the Shoe, I was like super excited about it. But College Game Day, they rarely allow like opposing team guests be the guest on College Game Day.
That's right.
So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm going to be up, at least with the booth with the boys, a little removed from it. Sure, I know I'm going to get booed, but at the same time, it's all part of the process. I was like, all right, so where am I doing this interview? And they brought me into the middle of the student section. And I'm in it was Ohio State fans, Buckeyes as far as the eye could see. I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear anything. She's asking me questions.
I was watching on TV, and I'm like, oh, he can't hear.
This is chaos. I was literally like, this is like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I about to just like, you're in their territory, I get it, but I'm like, am I just about to just talk all of Buckeye Nation right now? I don't know how to handle this moment. Anyway, we had a great time. It was a little bit of a tactical error on my part.
Tactical.
I shouldn't have assumed that I was going to be welcomed with open arms in Buckeye territory on week 1. Most anticipated game of the year, but it was a hell of a game. We had a fun time, and it was good to get to finally go back to the old man stomping grounds.
And you were there for Corso's last broadcast too, right?
That was magical.
What was that like?
That was magical. I mean, Corso is one of those guys that, at least for me, it just kind of is sort of like epitomizes the magic around college football. He just doesn't treat it so seriously. He's having a blast. It's all about the fun, great matchups, great games. And, he's been in our living room ever since I've, been able to walk. I mean, he's been doing this broadcast that is really, I don't know, for me, the magic of the weekend with my family. And that's college football is one of the things that my family and I share that we all love. And so it was really pretty cool to bring my family up there, for Corso's last game. And I got to do game day before. He was so fun. But it was just to get him to see him off into the sunset for that last moment was really, really special. He's going to be very missed. He's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, he put the headgear on
we
one last time.
We were hoping he would put on the fictional
There's no way. That's a symmetrical story.
Us.
The first headgear of Buckeye Nation. He had to do it. If he chose Texas, I would have. You understand story structure.
You
understand.
But I'm just saying, as a marketing opportunity, if he had put on the catfish head, that would have been
for Chad Powers.
For Chad Powers.
I mean, just to start it, and then all of the Horseshoe be like, what's up?
Everyone was really confused about his legacy. All of a sudden, what is happening?
You couldn't work it out. Just tell him, hey, before you do it, I know the whole country.
Maybe he'll come back. Maybe one more. It would be a good idea.
I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, Chad Powers. Let's hope it gets successful. We get maybe multiple seasons of it. Corso will be involved. I don't know. You tell me.
Crossed. We name check him in that.
You do. We heard his name in the clip.
He's canonized. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. And so, have you picked Eli's brain at all about his nephew for your team?
Oh yeah.
Do you dare to do that?
Oh no. I saw Eli last week at DKR. So
okay.
No, Eli. The fun part is the Mannings are all over my life in a great way, and it was great to see Arch really show up for the Longhorns this past week and show some swagger, and obviously I just feel like the Longhorns showed up on both sides of the ball and just showed what they're capable of. I mean, we got a hell of a year ahead of us. I mean, I'm a little worried about Georgia. We'll see how that goes. But we have
us. We have again. That would be.
We have a gauntlet ahead of us. But I'm feeling very optimistic about where the team's heading.
Okay, you and McConaughey, part of the Minister of Culture. Or whatever.
McConaughey's got an actual title. I just sort of show up.
Where's your title, man?
I'm not really on the salary, yet. I don't know. But McConaughey, I gotta say, I'm really trying to stay employed right now on the acting side of things. I'm doing my best, but I'm choosing my moments to come watch Texas football. I tune in every week, no matter where I am in the world. But the best part about this show is I can write off all my visits to Austin. Make sure I catch the game. This is really a tax opportunity. I don't know.
I don't know if you should be talking about this on TV.
Just wait a minute.
Get audited out of nowhere. I don't know how that works.
I'm working for Arch's uncle, or I'm creating something that Arch's uncles, plural, are very, and Dad. I'm sure Cooper wants this to succeed as well.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. I think we can make a case for it.
We're talking about Chad Powers. A few minutes left with the star, as well as co-creators and executive producers. How did you choose the nose? Is it the same one that Eli wears, or what? Not to get really creepy here.
You can talk about some of the good and the bad, the ugly on the prosthetics.
This had to have been a massive subject matter in creating this program.
Yeah, this was not
as to what the right notes. Did you get notes on the nose from Disney executives, or what do we get here?
I mean, our own internal process on it was a blast. We went to a prosthetic studio, Vincent Van Dyke's prosthetic studio, in Hollywood.
Okay.
And Glenn
went to the top of the line. It's not just any nose here.
Yeah, and Glenn had a full mold of his face made. And we went through a bunch of different designs of just how ugly you could be. It was really amazing to see the different permutations of your ugliness. And it was different. It's not a Mission Impossible mask. Like, it's not just one. The disguise is several different pieces: a nose, a forehead, cheeks. And so it was kind of like a Mr. Potato Head thing of like, all right, if you put this forehead with these cheeks and this nose, how much does that make the audience want to throw up versus like, can they, finding the right balance of funny but appealing. And this was adorable.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, that's the word that we're going with.
It's there were some grotesque ones that I'm glad we didn't go with, but
we discarded them.
Yeah, we have pictures of it, but they're not pretty. But I feel like this is the most reminiscent of what Eli did. I feel like when you put our faces,
we want to evoke the look that Eli had. But it's funny now. I say adorable because when I see Glenn, my friend, as Glenn, there's part of me that I'm like, that's not the real you. I spent so much time with Glenn in disguise as Chad that I'm actually in some ways more comfortable with him.
No kidding.
In disguise.
Now we're getting really deep.
Yeah, it's psychological.
Yeah, totally.
Damage.
How the hell did you guys meet then? How did you guys connect?
We just got set up. Everybody just said, "Hey, I think you guys would really get along." And like our agents were like, "Hey, like,
is that right?"
Yeah. And I'd been a fan of Glenn since I saw him in Everybody Wants Some, and I was like, "That's a guy I know I'd love to write for and work with." And we met, and we were like, "Oh, we get along. We're both college football fans. We both love the movie Armageddon," which is a real.
It's so true.
It's like we spent most of our first meetings talking about that.
We have a great Armageddon. Armageddon is an amazing runner in this movie. Michael Bay in Armageddon is an amazing runner in this show. So you'll see. You'll love it.
Speaking of runner, how about that for a little twist right here?
Yeah,
The Running Man.
Whoa. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
come on now.
Movie's great. It's really good.
So when do we get The Running Man?
November 14th.
This is it. This is, I mean, fantastic. The Running Man is one of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Yep.
Certainly ones that people don't say off the top of their head.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like they're not sitting there going, "Oh, The Running Man is my favorite," except this guy.
Yeah.
Right here.
Really?
Well, I mean, part of me is I say this all the time. My wife hates when I say it, so I'll say it again. I feel I was put on this planet, part of me, to give away cash and prizes. I just can't get enough of it. So the game show aspect of it, Richard Dawson being the bad guy in the original, that also included Jim Brown.
Yep.
By the way.
Yep.
I mean, the other people in it, and it was just awesome. So what is there? And again, I know we're talking Chad Powers. We just spent some time on it. What am I going to get out of this movie?
Well, I think what's really fun is like you look at the original. So the original story is based on a Stephen King book.
Yes, sir.
And the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is based on that. They kind of isolated it to like a studio. Our movie takes place out in the real world. So like the Stephen King book is like you release this guy out in the world, the entire world is hunting this guy. So you have those hunters that you're talking about, the Jim Browns of the world, but you also have, entire citizens of the world who can get paid for killing this guy. So it's just like this movie just operates at like an octane that's like hard to fathom, and it's just relentless. It's so fun.
So there's no home game version like there was in the original.
No, exactly.
Okay, pretty much.
exactly.
Only in a rerun. It's one of my favorite lines in the history of anything. Trust me, I'm geeking out about it.
I can't wait for you to see it. You're gonna love it.
I cannot wait for that. And is there any potential Top Gun sequel that's in the works here or no?
That's a Tom and Jerry issue. Those are the guys that kind of control when we go back to Miramar. I mean, who knows? That's the other thing is I stopped asking questions about it, but I do know there's a path forward on it for sure.
Because that was so great about seeing it again. For people, again, obviously I'm older, but seeing it again, it was such a nostalgia aspect to it that just hit me and hit my wife just in the gut and in the heart just to see it again. And it was it was such a wonderful continuation.
I totally agree. I mean, it's one of the things I think I'm the most proud of around Top Gun Maverick is like, all those guys that, were responsible for making that movie, especially Tom. You just saw his relentless pursuit of perfection. It's something that I've taken on to every job, including Chad Powers, where it's like, hey, it's your job to be accountable for every single part of this thing being great, and that's one of the things
we had to learn how to fly F-18s
for flyovers. I do all my own flyovers in this show. Yeah, but it's true. It's like to do something great, you really have to just like stick to it, and that's where it's like that's why I'm proud of like the comedy in the show and just like the college football in the show. Every single part of it, the drama, like there's this. It just shows you that if you really want to do something, just do it right. And so, Tom, I really owe. That was the greatest film school of my whole life.
And by the way, I'm not kidding. Like the nose too. You got to get that right. You got to make sure. I'm serious. Like, and it's funny that you mentioned it's not a Mission Impossible mask.
I mean, it's true. And Glenn did and it was. Top Gun is my favorite movie, and so
is it really?
and so every time Glenn would tell these stories about working with Tom and everything and his work ethic, that was catnip for me, and I do think that pursuit of perfection and trying to make something genuinely special. It's like, we're making a show based on this funny sketch that Eli did, but our approach was, let's make the best show that anybody sees on TV this year. Let's make the best football anybody's going to see. Let's make this thing the funniest show, the most heartfelt show. Let's do it big and do it right. Yeah. And so, we're pretty proud of it.
Fantastic. Now, in the final, minutes we have here, explain Loki to me, will you please?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, Loki. So basically, the way time works is that all instances of time are happening all at once. The multiverse is.
Dude, honestly, the number of times I'm sitting there watching with my kids on Disney Plus. We start the. Have you seen Loki? Have you seen?
I've seen Loki. I've had to shut down a lot of multiverse storylines in Chad.
Dude,
yeah.
That's